wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, more like you. I wanna be more like you. Every day, Lord, more like you. I wanna be someone you shine through, Lord, and all more like you. And all the world will see it's you that shine across the world. And though I may fall down, you pick me up, shine across the world. And all the world will see it's you that shine across the world. And though I may fall down, you pick me up, shine across the world.
Every time I look to you, I see the world differently because of you. I am free. And every time I look to you, I see the world differently because of you. I am free. 'Cause even though the world passes by, I know your love will never leave my side because of you. 'Cause even though the world passes by, I know your love will never leave my side because of you. I am free. I know your love watches over me to guide me in my everyday because of you. I am free. I know your love watches over me to guide me in my everyday because of you. I am free. Yeah. Even though the world passes by, I know your love will never leave my side because of you. 'Cause even though the world passes by, I know your love will never leave my side because of you. I am free.
Every time I look to you, I see the world differently because of you. I am free. And every time I look to you, I see the world differently because of you. I am free. Yeah. Even though the world passes by, I know your love will never leave my side because of you. Even though the world passes by, I know your love will never leave my side because of you.
Welcome to the Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions podcast with Brent Bailey. And at the tech booth, Jody Cook-Bailey and Luke Cardiel. We are growing our circles of connections and knowledge together with encouraging conversations and positive communications. And now, Brent Bailey.
And happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Expanding Your Search and Stopping for Directions. It's Brent Bailey, and we're going into the weekend again. It's hard to believe. These weeks are getting faster and faster all the time. Anyway, it's a great day today. I've got a great show planned for you. I've got Jim and Sheila Schmidt of the I Cried Too Foundation and PutOnYourArmor.org. You're in for a real treat for them today. Go over to the tech booth with me and join Jody and Luke as they come in today looking like $1 million over there.
Yes, it's nice and clear.
We got a nice, good camera instead of just
webcam?
Instead of just using a webcam.
Right, exactly.
We actually got them a good camera so y'all can see what they really look like.
Yes.
Yeah, now you guys can see all my pores.
No kidding.
Yep.
I'm like, oh,
Yep.
that's not, yeah.
And so,
Sorry.
anyway,
This is the inception of me starting to wear makeup for this show.
Yeah. it
JK,
just might
not
be.
gonna happen.
Welcome to my life. I put it on every day. Anyway, folks, today is a big day for us here at the show because today, Jody and I are celebrating our oldest son, Preston's
Yes.
14th birthday. And Monday was Peyton's birthday, so you remember he jumped in here
Yep.
because they were out of school on Monday for President's Day. Preston's at school right now as we do the show, and so there he is on the platform, in front of the garage. We're so we love Preston so much.
We do.
I don't know if he'll ever get to see this. He probably won't, but
Every once in a while.
he'll watch every now and
watch
then.
the podcast.
And so, son, we love you. Happy birthday!
We love you so much.
You are our
Yes.
first gift
Yes.
as extended family
Yes.
in the when Jody and I were
Don't get me
married,
crying.
and so.
Aw.
Anyway, we love you, son. Happy birthday.
Aw.
2 more years you'll be driving.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
yes.
right?
'Cause when I met
he's
him-
excited about that.
Because when I met him, he was Preston's size. I mean,
Peyton's
Peyton's.
size.
Peyton size,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
I always get their names mixed up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
do we.
do we.
We go to yell at him the wrong way. I have yet to go and call him other members of the family's name, though.
Right.
Like,
I think I have called them Vinny before.
My sister.
Let's
That's
start
the
it
dog,
there.
folks.
That's
so,
about,
so
yeah.
growing up, my oldest nephew's first words was Luke, because I got yelled at so much. I got yelled at so much. He went ook ook.
oh, that's funny.
That is funny.
Well,
That's awesome.
What was it? Was it Bill Cosby? I think. Oh, Lord, that's awful. But anyway, Bill Cosby always had a thing that forever he thought his name was Jesus because his dad yelled at him so much.
He did. Yep. That's awesome.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
happy birthday, Preston.
Yes.
Today just happens to also be, if you're a DC fan, in the DC timeline, today is Bruce Wayne's birthday.
It
as
is,
well.
very
yes.
Happy birthday, Batman.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this is kind of this is weird. When I was a little kid, of course, Jody's been where I grew up. My parents still live there. My grandfather was our next door neighbor. Nice big spread of a farm, couple hundred
Yes.
acres, but it was very wooded. So you didn't just have flat, you could go out in the woods and play and hide and all kinds of stuff. Well, right next door, well, I shouldn't say next door, but right by our house, like our house was here, my bedroom was on the end, and then it went down a hill and started back into the woods, but there was a cemetery there.
oh gosh.
Yeah. Yes. Imagine the nightmares I had as a child sleeping next to a cemetery.
See, I would have done something stupid like, oh, let's go camp
When
out.
Thriller came out, I was in mess because I knew that was happening right over there. So anyway, that's not the point. The point is, occasionally my cousins and I would go down there and we would jump the fence and get. It's just a little small cemetery. It's not real
very
big, but there was a grave in there marked Bruce Wayne.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And we would tell our friends, Batman's buried in our cemetery. So.
Oh my gosh,
It's
that's
kinda
awesome.
crazy.
That is
Anyway.
so cool. Today though also is Chocolate Mint Day.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, what's your favorite chocolate mint?
Ice cream.
Well, I was going to say,
Oh.
I just had an Oreo a mint Oreo milkshake. First one in 2021.
Yeah.
Just the other day on Peyton's birthday.
Yeah.
Had
I love mint
Yeah.
chocolate ice cream.
But
Yeah,
chocolate mint. Now, I think about going to, isn't it Olive Garden that gives them out?
the Andes.
Andes
Oh,
chocolate.
man.
They're so good.
Oh yeah.
And then you wind up taking, like 20 of them. They took some of mine.
I don't remember where we were, but they had an Andes flavored milkshake.
Really?
Yes.
That's
I don't
cool.
remember where
They
we were either,
ground
but
them up,
I remember
big
that.
chunks of them in there.
Yeah,
They're really
those
good.
are so good. So
So celebrate by going to Olive Garden, because when you hear your family, and get you some Andes tonight for
Yes.
mint chocolate day.
yeah, it is also Lash Day. Now, that doesn't mean it's, lash out at somebody. It is literally lashes.
And
It's,
so this is for those of you who are concerned about that.
right.
I have microscopic ones. Mine
I
are,
wish we could zoom in, but we're
I
not going to do
I
that.
have I have beautiful
I
eyelashes.
do not have big eyelashes at all.
Yes.
I do.
But it is also, it's Lash Day, true, real lashes and fake lashes, which I've tried once. And actually, the first time I did it was at Christmas time, and I tried them, and they were great. But then the second time I tried, I was like, yeah, this is not working.
This seems to have, and I know that there are other people who are concerned about their lashes, but today seems like a very female-friendly national day today.
Yes.
That
it
today is also National Vet Girls
Rise Day. And that is, that's,
So if you're a
A veteran,
veterans thing?
yes.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
our friend Reagan Compton
yes, she
applies
is a
here.
veteran.
And so if you're a veteran and you're a female,
And
today is your day to...
Today's your day to celebrate, and today is your day for everybody to acknowledge your existence and what you've done for this country.
We give you a big salute.
Yes, and
very
it said there are over 2 million female veterans.
Thank you,
Well,
all of you women
yes.
who served
Yes.
in our armed forces, all branches,
Yep.
and
Yes,
the
thank you
future
so
ones,
much.
and that includes the Space Force.
Yeah, exactly.
Not off the ground yet. So anyway, see what I did there.
Elon Musk was on the Joe Rogan podcast
he a
again this
female?
past week,
Talking about it?
talking
Or-
about space stuff. It was interesting.
Well, anyway, ladies, thank you for serving. All right, what
Yes.
else? One more. We got time for one more.
It is Tartar Sauce Day. We like tartar
Ooh,
sauce.
Where's your
Yeah,
favorite
yeah.
tartar sauce
Yes.
from? Anybody? Drop in the comments below
yeah.
and let us know. What is your favorite
Tartar sauce.
tartar sauce?
My
Where is
mom
it
used
from?
to make it. It was pretty good.
Oh,
Homemade's
really?
pretty good, and I
feel like we
like
tried.
the craft stuff you can buy, just the squeeze bottle of it. But that's not my favorite.
No, I
My
know what your
favorite
is.
is from Frisch's Big Boy.
Yes.
Okay.
You can buy it in the jar.
And it's good.
Usually, it's a regional thing around Ohio, Kentucky
Yep.
area there, and it's so good.
Yeah,
I used to.
it is very
Dan
good.
Taylor, who was from Cincinnati, and I was from close to there. Anytime we'd get home and get close, we'd buy each other a jar of it. So happy Tartar Sauce Day, Dan.
Yes.
All right, that's what's going on around the country. Let's jump in with our guest today and expand your search. I'm so excited to have as my guest today some really good friends of ours that we've known for a long time. I had the honor and privilege of being their two oldest children's youth pastor. They were great volunteers with us at the ministry when we were doing youth ministry, and we've also traveled some together and been around at some of the Increase events. And we've run into each other here in Orlando, and it's just always great to see them. They have so much going on. I've talked to them about some of their projects, and really I've always been encouraged when I've heard them talk about their projects today. And so I want you to welcome to the program, dear friends of Jody and I. This is Armadillo Jim Schmidt and his wife Sheila. Hey guys.
Hello, Brent and Jody. Gosh, it's so good to be with you.
It is so great to have you. It's been a little while since we've seen each other, but man, you guys look great, and I know everybody's doing probably well. I keep up with the kids on Facebook, and so sounds like everybody's still just going great.
We're doing great. We're on our honeymoon. We're empty nesters, so we'll just no more details.
Yeah, we don't need to know. This is a family show. Yeah, you're grandparents now, so that's awesome.
Love
it.
And how old is she now? We
We have one granddaughter that's 6.5, and then we have another granddaughter who's 2.5.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you just had the one, but all right. That's awesome. And so great. Now, folks have known you, Jim, as Armadillo Jim, and you started a foundation called Put On Your Armor, because, being from Texas, and armadillo's the natural protection thing. It's a nonprofit organization, and but tell us a little bit about that. How did you start that? And then we'll get into exactly what it does.
Well, the whole cowboy culture was always big in Texas, and children just look up to cowboys. You don't have to be any particular message. You walk into a room and they look up to a cowboy. And shortly after the Lord saved me, I found the Ephesians 6:10, putting on the full armor of God, and God just tremendously, miraculously opened the doors to our not-for-profit foundation. I followed sort of the Dare and Just Say No program back then, 25, 30 years ago. And then consequently, Brent, we've been in thousands of schools and seen over 2 million children with a message called Put On Your Armor. And the Armadillos became that vehicle, that tool, that visual aid. And we had comedy and just a great message. And we still have tons of warehouses, or tons of letters in warehouses, just thanking us for coming and encouraging the students.
I know that every time that we would, I'd come over to the house or whatever, you'd just pick up those armadillos like it was no big deal. And I was almost afraid to touch them. So it was always, I guess I should have listened to the message and realized they weren't going to hurt me. But those
right.
Were good.
They're totally a defensive animal, and children these days need their defense, they need their armor. When you read about the full armor of God in the Bible, it's mostly all defensive. Yeah. And we have to put on that shield of faith and the breastplate of righteousness, and always be ready with a good word. And that's what your show is all about, ready with a good word. We love it.
We're trying. Now, also, Sheila is kind of the head and the president of something that you guys started called I Cried Too, which is a project that helps families that have lost a parent, children that have lost a parent. It's been embraced by the Pentagon and the city of New York when those children lost their parents at 9/11. Sheila, talk a little bit about that for us real quick.
Well, Brent, you may not remember, or you may, that when I was 28 years old, my house burned down. A few months later, my business burned down. And a few months later, my first husband died. All in 9 months, I lost everything but my 2 kids. And so out of that, right after that, the Lord started directing me to go to Bible school, in which I moved to Tulsa and met this wonderful man. And then God directed us to develop a grief recovery project for children. And at the time that we did that, we had no idea 9/11 was going to hit. And when 9/11 hit, we were right in the middle of developing it. And so we rushed it to get it finished, because the city of New York wanted to name it the Official Bereavement Project, and then the Pentagon called wanting us to supply it for all of their children as well. So we have seen thousands and thousands of kids. We have supplied our book, CD, and Bunny Rabbit for thousands of kids to help children who are grieving.
And Brent, it's based on the true story of her late husband was chasing a bunny in a field, and it ran into a metal irrigation pipe. He lifted it, and unfortunately, tragic accident. But Sheila took that, when the Holy Spirit told us to write a book through the bunny's eyes that morning, when we were wrapping little Easter gifts with little Easter bunnies. Like in the people that can relate in that movie, Field of Dreams, when God drops something down, that's what happened. And Sheila and I looked at each other, and it was amazing. We had no idea a year later 9/11 would happen, and all of this. And so it's based on a true story. And again, thousands of letters. Just last week, Fort Bragg reordered. 20 years in a row, Fort Bragg is still delivering to the children of the military slain officers.
Oh my goodness! There's a picture of the book right there on the screen, and their kids, Blake and Fiona, Sheila's kids from the first marriage are also involved in this story and this development as well. And I know I know that you came to our wedding, Lord, a long time ago. But really, I feel like I came into the story because you were more friends with Jody's side of the family. We didn't even know each other then. But when I came into the story, this was really just starting to pick up and get off the ground. So I remember all of that, and it was such a great thing to see, even though we were in the midst of tragedy. And I know that we can take it right to this, that there are so many people that are hurting from not just the death of a loved one, but this season that we're in is just so unusual, and so many people are in different phases of grief, whether it's the loss of a loved one or the loss of jobs or their whole financial stability. This book really kind of helps with the entire grieving process, especially for children, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to let Sheila comment on some of that, but Rick Warren recently said, we're not all in the same boat. Grief does not put you all in the same boat. We're all in a similar storms. And 5,000 children today, Brent, will lose a parent through death, divorce, abuse, or a parent going to prison. And, we've just taken what God has ordained to do, and we're expanding it. We get letters from all kinds of parents that say, wow, my child was going through this, but the bunny rabbit in the book said it wasn't their fault. Brent, out of those 5,000 today, 80% of the children will blame themselves through abuse, through that divorce. For some reason, the enemy puts that in their head that it's their fault, and we have to help our children. And during COVID right now, during all of these traumatic times, this is a wonderful time for everyone to open up their eyes and look around and see that children are hurting, and they just need some hope.
And love, yeah, they need love. No matter what kind of grief we're going through, because there's all kinds of grief, and no grief is unimportant. These children are going through things. These adults are going through things, even to the point of some suicides during this season in our life. And it's all of it is important, and we need to reach out to each other and be there for each other. But one of the things that I think has been a blessing in my life is that I was able to take what I went through and help other people, because God wants to use those. Our tests are a testimony, and God wants to use those things to help other people, so that when other people come to my life that have experienced that, I can be there to love on them and encourage them and show them that there is hope.
Yeah, and it's always been such a something that radiates out of the both of you every time I've ever been around you. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about this new thing that you're doing. Is called It's Legal to Pray in School, and it's a campaign that you've started that is just so sorely overdue in this country. I mean, there's so many folks that have been, especially the kids that do have a strong backbone in their faith. They don't know what they're allowed to do and what they're not. And so you've been in thousands of schools. You've ministered to millions of kids. This book about praying in public schools, talk about that.
Well, a few years back, during See You at the Pole, which is an annual event for public schools, it was like the Holy Spirit dropped down and said, why is it just about one day? You can pray in school every day. And I was like, Lord, I know that. He goes, yeah, but the church doesn't even know it. And I started really, my ears were perked, and I would hear pastors say, when they took prayer out of school, now that you can't pray in school anymore. And we started doing the research. No one ever took prayer out of school. There were certain Supreme Court rulings that said the government would no longer lead the prayer. And these days, frankly, I'm kind of thankful for that, Brett. I want my children to be able to know that they can pray. They can form prayer groups. And if anybody who's ever prayed or been prayed for know the power of prayer, and for us to cheat our children around the world, particularly in U.S. schools, to cheat them out of that wonderful armor of prayer that talks about in the full armor of God, that is a disservice to our children. And so now, of all times, people are hungry for prayer, and we just want students, everybody know it's legal to pray in school. Nobody's going to get in trouble. We're just not going to have a government official say, you must pray. And that's all that's ever been done. And I'm thankful for that, because our youngest daughter, she prayed in her public school every day. I mean, before they went out and performed or before a test. So it's legal to pray. And we're just trying to erase an error that even the church has propagated, unfortunately.
I was going to say, there's so many people that have been told that they are it's not allowed, period, across the board. And to say that, to the clarification that the government's not going to say you have to pray now. Yeah. Most people,
and
that's such a bombshell.
The sad thing is, when a child hears over and over again, you can't pray in school, they won't even try. Well, prayer is a private thing between you and God. You can pray anywhere at any time.
Right.
You cannot be told you can't pray.
So, where do you feel like where are we in America with our schools and the church's role, and where does that land right now?
An all-time wonderful opportunity. In the book, Helping Public Schools, there's 101 ideas, but I get at least 1 or 2 a week. Churches like the one that you lead, going in and maybe doing a teacher's appreciation lunch, a bus driver's appreciation breakfast, taking the church building, Brent, and putting it right on top of the school. There are so many organizations. Your veterans in your churches can go and do a Veterans Day program. There's so many great ways to reach out without ever preaching the gospel. Just be the church. And now of all times, they need help in every possible way. Substitute teachers, train up your churches in the way they should go. Not just the child, but train up the churches in the way they should go. Jesus said, "Go ye." And I know you're a Go Ye church, and this is a Go Ye video that goes out around our podcast. So this is a Go Ye moment for the church, and all we have to do is embrace the Go Ye minute.
It's so awesome. We had a picture of the book up there on the screen just a second ago. Now, with all the projects and the resources, you guys also, it's like, I feel like I'm talking to the Energizer Bunnies here. You just keep going and going. You're also doing a weekend devotion for anybody that likes to tune in. Talk about that.
Well, a few years ago, a bank president just wanted to reach out to all of his staff, employees, vendors, and he started it. And then one day I was saying, you ought to take that into the weekends. And he said, why don't you and Sheila do it? So for over almost 3 years, we've been just doing the Jesus Calling reading. And then we do like a TED Talk. I call it a Jesus Talk for 10 minutes. And people just tune in, call in from around the country. And now we're also on some radio stations, just embellishing the word that Sarah Young from Jesus Calling has done. And we just motivate people and talk about our lives, much like we're talking on this podcast with you.
And because we're a married couple, it tends to most of the time lead toward marriage things, and it's helped us. It's helped Jim.
It's helped us tremendously when you minister and talk these things out together, as you know. And by the way, you got kids, so we're able to relate to that season of our life, going through the teenage years already, and so we just enjoy. I think it's more fellowship than speaking at people. We're just we're on a cup of coffee on the couch, talking, being real. I think people need to see people real in the church, and letting them know that we are flawed, and thanks to Jesus Christ, we're saved, and we're moving on one day to the new address.
Yeah. Jim, I know that you probably remember this. Do you remember sitting on the beach in Maui, and it was just me and you? And most people would think this is a weird moment, but me and you watched the sunset, both wishing our wives were there with us. Do you remember that? And the pool,
I do remember
the pool
that.
person,
I do remember that.
they kept bringing us free treat, like hors d'oeuvres. And me and Joe were sitting
Oh, that's right. They kept coming by with the hors d'oeuvres.
Greatest thing ever.
You said the only thing that make this better is if our wives were here. They were busy because Sheila was a new mom, and it was great.
There was a lot going on, but we sat there and watched this big, beautiful sunset with free hors d'oeuvres, and it was like
Jim's a sunset watcher.
People would talk crazy about us. So, folks, this is our good friends Armadillo Jim and Sheila Schmidt, and I'm going to throw some information up on the screen real quick. If you would like to follow them, I highly encourage it, because they are just extremely wonderful people to be around and to have their resources. There it is right there, icried2.org, helpingpublicschools.com, and of course armadillojim.com. You can follow them on Facebook at icried2, at Armadillo Jim, and at Legal to Pray. Folks, I highly encourage it. Get some of their resources, especially if you have grieving children or grieving people into your life. These folks can really help you. Guys, it's been so wonderful to have you here. I'm so thankful for your time. And hopefully we'll see each other in person sometime real soon.
Keep spreading the love. This is a great, great program you're doing. Keep spreading the love, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. All right, that's Armadillo Jim and Sheila, and now let's stop for directions. You know, as much as I've been around Jim and Sheila and seen their ministry in operation, it's always encouraging to see them not be afraid of those that are of those times where grief is so powerful. And I know that in this place in history, it seems like on the surface especially, there is very much a constant stream of grieving from people losing loved ones, to people that have lost their jobs, to people that are upset by the state of the things that are going on in the world, to natural disasters. There is just so much going on that can cause grief in our lives. And I was thinking about their ministry to kids and how they're helping kids. But this is a very real problem for you and me. These are things that when we face grief, it rocks us so badly that many times that grief leads to depression, it leads to sickness. Some folks even, it leads to death. And here's the thing that I wanted to be encouraged about. Grief can't be something that we're scared about. Grief actually can be something that we can rebound from and heal from and become strong through to help somebody else. The Bible says in Psalm chapter 30, verses 1 through 5, and this is just an encapsulated version of that. It just says, weeping may tarry for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And there is a moment in your life that even though you're grieving right now, listen, go through it, embrace it. Don't try and just take your mind off of it to get away from it. Embrace that grief. Allow it to do its job, which is to heal you so that joy can come back into your life and you can have it in the morning. And that's what this is all about. That's what a ministry like Jim and Sheila's is all about. I promise that if you'll do that, you're going to see lots of things change in your life, and the strength will come because the Bible guarantees it. That's going to wrap it up for the show today. I'm so grateful to Jody and to Luke for another great broadcast. I'm so grateful to Jim and Sheila Schmidt, and I'm just so, I can't tell you enough the good things about their ministry. Reach out, check it out. It was on the screen there. We love you guys so much. Have a great weekend this weekend and a great rest of your day. I hope you found what you were looking for as you took the time to expand your search and stop it for directions. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for joining us today. Connect with us on @ExpandingYourSearch on Facebook and Instagram, and @ExpandingSearch on Twitter. Relive any of our episodes on YouTube. We're available wherever podcasts are found, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can also download the Direction Ministries app on iOS, Android, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. Take some time today to expand your search and stop for directions.